Hello, and here's a recap on the lesson that we did on Thursday with the introduction to Excel. So as you can see, I've got an Excel sheet up in front of us now. And what we did was we were doing a profit and loss. Okay, so I'm going to go with income. And I'm going to list what income I've got. So I'm going to have wages, investment, and rental, if you remember from the lesson. Now as I start to type in this, so let's do you can see that investment, the rest of the word disappears. So let me just finish off the rest of this. So you go between the B and the C, you get this little black arrow thing, double click, and it will do it to the right size we want. And because we haven't yet told this column or these figures that they're currency, if I put 450 and then 00, it gets rid of the 00. Okay, so I'm just going to add all these together. I'm going to zip down to here and click on the Autosum, and that will add all those together. And I can also change that so it says currency. Okay, so now we can see the 00s. I'm going to leave a bit of a gap, and then I'm going to have expenditure. And I'm going to have mortgage, gas and electric, what else? Right, we have water, council tax, broadband, and phones. Okay, so we'll just do those for now. So the mortgage, let's say it's gas and electric, water is £50, council tax, broadband 60, and phones, oops, that's not quite as much as I pay on phones, but nearly, 78. And then we're going to do the same thing. We're going to highlight them, and I'm going to line it up here so it's just going to be nice and neat. And I'm going to click on Autosum, and at this point again we can change that to currency. And we need to know how much money we've got left for beer, so and that is getting the income and subtracting the expenditure. So we would do equals income, so we can click on the cell with the income and then subtract the expenditure and press enter, and that tells us how much we've got left for beer money. Now imagine up here we have the car breakdown, and it's going to cost us 2,000. We can see that puts it into the negative, into what we would call the red. And we wanted that to stand out a bit more. So to start off with, I'm going to get rid of that. And we've got to make sure we're clicked onto that cell. And then we go up to conditional formatting. And we click on that. Highlight the cell rules. And we want to say if it's less than 0, light red fill with dark red text, and click OK. Nothing's happened because we're still in the positive. But as soon as we go into the negative, we can see that highlights that for us. That stands out nicely. We also wanted to add boxes so that when we went to print it, it would be easier to see. So we can just highlight the cells we wanted to be in a box, go up to font, and then just above the word font we've got these box which tells us the borders, so I want all borders. And I'm going to do the same down here. All borders. And I can do that for these three. And there you go, we've got all borders. So if I do try to go and print it, okay, we can see that that is what it would look like. We've got the borders, we can see that it's in the red, that works nicely, but it doesn't look so good on the page. So I prefer it if we go to the page layout and change the orientation to landscape. So you can see these dotted lines here. These tell us that where the lines are for it to be landscape. So if I change the orientation to portrait, we see the lines have changed. So let's go back to landscape. And then if we try to print it, there you go, it looks just a bit better, doesn't it? So the second thing we did is we were going to create the school play. So we wanted the stage to be about 11, and actually I want it to be 3 deep, so okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we've got that. That's going to be our stage. So back on the home tab, we're just going to click merge in center, and then that becomes one great big cell. We can put a border around it if we want. Let's do a thick outside border, and I'm going to write the word stage. And as you can see, it's centered because it's merging center, but it's only centered on the horizontal, and I want it to be centered horizontal and vertical. So I'm going to click into the cell again, and I'm going to click this one here to do the middle align. Now it's where we want it. It's a school play, so I'm going to choose Comic Sans, and I'm going to make it a bit bigger. And there you go, we've got the stage. Next thing we did is the seating for it. So we're going to do 5 by 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. And I want all borders for that. And I'm going to do the same here. All borders. And then I'm going to do another set of 5. These are the cheap seats. These are the people who leave it to the last minute like me. And we've got another row of 5 here. So that's our basic layout. We have this here and this one here. These are the aisles. And then we've got the seats. What I want to do is make it a little more interesting. So I'm going to colour in the seats. So I highlight each block. And then I go to the paint pot and choose the blue I want. Okay, I'm going to go with that one, I think. You'll notice that when I do that, for whatever reason, it's a Microsoft thing, I'm sure there must be some reason, I don't know it, the initial cell isn't turned blue. But don't worry about it, we've got them all highlighted. And I'm going to turn that blue. And turn them all blue. Okay. So that's what we did. And now what we want to do is make sure that we can sell the seats. So we're just going to randomly assign some seats. Okay, so seats have been randomly assigned, and we want to see number sold. Let's do it that way. And again, we can do the Autosum. We can just get it and drag it to number sold, and then click Autosum. Okay, we don't have to keep doing that, if you remember. If we click onto the cell with the first formula in it and bring our cursor so it's just on that green dot there, just on that green dot, it becomes a black cross, we can then drag that down and it will copy that formula relative to each different row. We get rid of that 0 because obviously there's not going to be any seats on the aisle. And we did, each of the seats were £5, so I'm going to go with equals number of seats sold multiplied by 5. And that's calculated that for us. And again, we can just get that green dot, turn it into a black cross and drag it down. And these were slightly cheaper seats. These were equals number sold multiplied, which is the shifted 8 to get you that star, £3.50. Once we've done that once, we can just drag that down. And that's calculated that all for us. What we can also do to make it easier for us to see what seats are available and what aren't is we did the conditional formatting again. But this time what we're going to say is we're going to highlight all of these cells and go to conditional formatting, highlight the cell rules again. But this time, if it's equal to 1, which it automatically chooses it because that's all it can see, number 1, then you can change that, but it's fine for us. Light red fill with dark red text. And now it's easier for us to see which of the cells has been sold, which of the seats has been sold. We can do the same here. Highlight all the cells, conditional formatting, highlight the rules, and if it's equals to 1, fill it with red. Again, here we go. Conditional formatting, highlight the cell rules, equals to 1. And finally, highlight all those cells, conditional formatting, highlight the rules, if it's equal to 1, there you go. And that is pretty much where we were up to. I think we'd also done, possibly also done an Autosum here, and that could tell us what we've got up to that point, because we're going to do some more work with it. So there you go. I think somebody had even changed the colour of the stage, hadn't they? Let's choose a different colour. Oh, actually I quite like that green. Very school play-y. So there you go. We've got the school play done. So that was what we learnt in the lesson. School play and income and expenditure. And just as we did with the school play, if you wanted, you can make this a bit more colourful. I don't know, let's say you want to change that to the blue. You can't read it very well. So we highlight that and we can go up to the A and we can choose the colour we want. And with this one I think white looks quite nice. Yep. And again with this one we can do the blue cells with the white lettering. Blue cells with the white lettering. And of course, because we've changed that for the car repair, once we take the car repair out, it matches back to how we've got the rest of the layout. So hopefully that's a useful reminder, and I will see you later on in the week.